I enjoyed my time as a freelance journalist, getting to know the people I covered, interview them from politicians to just regular people, and also taking the time to research of their accomplishments and their plans and speaking with them about that. And of course, every time I mention the subject of journalism, it's almost as if I'm beating my head up against a wall because I have to mention that journalism is all about interviewing people, finding facts instead of creating fiction, and also really getting to the heart of the story or the subject that I'm covering. And yet I find that as we continue to live this life, more often than not, it just seems like the lies are greater than the truth. That we have a general mistrust of media and the people in charge of covering that media. You know, left is right, down is up. They would like to change reality for their own means. Not only that, but independent channels of individuals who come with their strong opinions to make it seem as if this fact, who point you in a direction that you know this is what's happening, right? You know that this matters. You know that that's not real, when in fact it could be real, but because people like to distort reality for their own ends, people are often confused and mistrusting of reliable sources. And this is one thing that when I do my research, and research is very key here, that is a true fact. Research often is a sobering fact because everything that you believed, if you listen to these individuals on this platform, on other media sources, if you believe everything they say without doing the actual research, you will be amazed of what you will find. And more often than not, for people, they don't like what they see or read. That's why it is important to do research. It's important to look up facts instead of fiction. You know, in this platform and other platforms, it's so easy to convince you of what you believe is right and true. But has nothing but the facts. The facts are what they are, spelled out just for your vindication of those facts or your repudiation of them. But facts are always going to be facts. It's going to be truth. Now, a lot of people will make the word truth subjective, right? The X-Files was popular with the truth is out there. And then certain individuals, certain groups say they have their own truth. But truth hurts. Truth is not meant to soothe us. Truth is not meant to make us feel good or feel better. It's a way to say, hey, look, this is fact. This is actually what must be done, or this is exactly is what happened. Whatever truth, whatever spectrum of life truth falls under, it's true. It's definitely all true. Truth, facts, actuality. It actually happened. And yet we find people that don't care because to them, their opinion matters. What they believe, their opinion matters. You could tell them the truth over and over and over again, and they don't care because it's something they want to look for. They need to find it. They want to feel vindicated of what they found. They want things to happen in a certain way, and if they don't, It's not true. We often talk about this world and historical events, and we have individuals and groups who are doing their best to change history. Things that happen in this country or in other places never happened because of circumstances. It didn't happen the way that they felt it should happen, but it did. I wrote a poem and even shared it with you from Storm Over South Central, calling "What is Truth?" And I used the words of the great poet William Wordsworth. In the line he says, "Truth is more than truth. It's a zeal of," and I'm paraphrasing this part, "of the divine. It's a zeal to find out. It's a lust. It's a love to go after the truth." And it's, in Wordsworth's own way, it's more than that. It's solid evidence. Things actually happened. Things actually are true. Our principles, our morals, everything that we believe, that's the truth. We can say that a family constitutes what it's meant to constitute, right? Two loving parents who produce children and love those children enough that those same young people eventually grow up and they live a life, hopefully to change the world for the better. If not, to change the family and the family name for the better. But we've had individuals and groups and other agents of chaos over the decades change these fundamental values that we all have for their own profit. Why? Because we want to make them true. We want to make them a reality. We want to make them an actuality, instead of accepting the truth as it is. This platform and so many others are so filled with opinions. And yes, that's part of free speech. You can say whatever you feel needs to be said. But unless you're stating facts, those are just your opinions. And I mentioned this in another video essay before, but I felt this time I have to keep mentioning it. It has to be said over and over again until someone finally realizes facts are facts and opinions should just remain as opinions. The subjective really are subjective. You can make an opinion whatever you want it to be. If you say the sky is falling, fine. You can put and phrase it to any way you like it. National, domestic, whichever way you want to believe the sky is falling. But facts are facts. And sometimes we don't like to look at those facts because they hurt us. They hurt our feelings. It challenges us intellectually. And we don't like to be challenged intellectually. But facts are always going to be facts, no matter what. All I can just do is just share this with you, share my thoughts, share my feelings. But that's coming from me. And you have different thoughts and different feelings of how you look at facts. But the truth is always going to be out there. And as I close, let me remind you, the truth will always come out. We do know of one or two or three absolute truths that cannot be disputed or denied. We are born, we live, and we die. And anything between those lines, subjective. Unless you live your life the best you can, and those individuals who have seen your life can point out and just say, that man or that woman, they were good people. But other than that, the truth will always come out. Even at the very end of our life, the truth will be borne out. And that's all I want to say. Take care.